Vin's Minute Modcast with his mates, Mo and Satya. Episode 203.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Vin's Minute Modcast with his mates. Hey, Mo and Satya.
Hey there.
Hello.
Here we are again, and let's crack on straight away. So, the first topic I saw recently was around. We always talk about how are these companies that are, cost, they have like literally billions of dollars of spend, right? Because they're kind of growing the market. They want to be a bit like, I guess, when we're thinking about Uber and all of those companies, we're always thinking, when are these people making money? Because they just, everything that comes in, they just use that to expand to new territories, new features. And then they're like, well, once we have that captive market, then we'll think about making some money. So I saw recently that good friends at OpenAI have introduced like a new introductory tier, paid tier for OpenAI. $5 or 400 rupees, I think it was, for using ChatGTP. So I was really interested in saying, okay, I can see like that starts to, get some money coming in, but probably more than that. They want to kind of eke you into using more of the platform because you get like, more, you can do more, you can upload more files, you have 10 times as many more sort of images and complexities that you can do with ChatGTP 5. Which is great, and I'm sure before you know it, they'll be on the, people will be on the $200 plan or equivalent in rupees. So, yeah, I can see it, but at the same time, it's like, okay, like, where does this actually get to? So, let's kick off with you, Satya. I don't know if you had any thoughts as to, for the 800 million odd people that have internet in India, I think it's quite a smart move, because even if, 5% of those take that plan, then that's quite a few 400 rupees to have. Any thoughts on that plan? Would it be something you think will get adoption, or people will just stick with the free one?
I would say that it will get a lot of adoption, especially in the students, especially in the college going, especially in the people who make memes quite a lot. So there's a lot of memes culture in India. Like there's a sarcastic way of showcasing your emotions, but in form of memes, and I can completely see it blowing up. And I can also see OpenAI getting different types of sentences that they can train their own AI, because we have our own English, we have our own grammar, we have our own English mixed with different languages. So I think OpenAI will have quite a fun ride to train their LLMs, is what I think. But at the same time, OpenAI right now is competing with Perplexity, because what Perplexity did a few months ago was, if I have a telecom provider, in this case Airtel, so if I have that SIM card, then I can activate my Perplexity Pro for free for 1 year. So imagine I'm saving more than $200 or so by just having to have the SIM card of Airtel. Because I'm anyways paying for my calls and internet, and it's, so I would see that India as a market mostly from a training perspective, mostly to understand the permutations and combinations of how people will react and interact with these bots. Yes, but it's more also I see that it's good for deep research for Perplexity Pro, and the sentences are much better on Perplexity than on ChatGPT. So
Yeah, because I understand Perplexity in India is free for students as it is. Again, it's a massive market, right? Get them to adopt it.
yes, but it's more also I see that it's good for deep research for Perplexity Pro, and the sentences are much better on Perplexity than on ChatGPT. So
Yeah, I think that thing of, just start it at a small amount. I mean, if I sort of look at my Apple phone and stuff, it's not my fault. Everything, all the files get bigger and bigger just because of the way the technology works. So then they're like, yeah, you've used your free storage. It's only 99p for, an extra 5 gig. And before you know it, it's like, actually, that's not enough. You're going to need 100 gig. And now it's this much. And before you know it, you've got yet another subscription that it's a bit tricky because you want to kind of back up your phone and stuff, right? So I think that's how it begins. And you start them on the $5 one, and let's see where it is in a few years' time. But I think it'll be one of those things like it'll just be a necessity that You can't like like broadband, like your SIM card. Everyone will need one, right? What do you think, Mo?
I think is a fantastic strategy they're using. They say that if you buy something already, like you bought something already from someone, you'll buy again because there's a trust that's built there between the user, the person that acquired the purchase. So it's a psychology game that it'll be easier to upsell than going and finding new people to add to your user base for sure. But as Satya said, I do believe this is like who wouldn't want access to 1 billion people data, right? And these guys are so clever that they're still getting paid to get that. And usually you would go and like pay for that data or access, like you have to pay as a company. But here they're still getting a subscription. I don't know if it's loss or profit. Of course, it depends. So this is like fascinating on how they doing this and executing it. But I still inquire on what is their data selling like money making method because maybe yeah, I was gonna say maybe it is in the terms and conditions. I haven't read it to that level, but we need to maybe go and look at it more in depth if it's updated or not.
I have a theory. I think that it will slowly go towards B2B and we would not even know it. We will only have a very thin slice of a cake, and let's say for me, I'm just thinking out loud that slowly, let's say Perplexity or OpenAI, whoever are creating these LLMs and Gen AI tools, they would slowly increase their price and they will sell to, let's say, colleges. So the teachers would have full access, and if you're students, then you have to anyways pay the school fees so that you can get those access, because then the game plan is completely different, is what I am thinking. It's from the ecosystem that I am in right now, that who would really buy a $200 plan? They would rather give it $20,000 to college, like, hey, pay us $20,000 and you can get this access for a year or so, something. So I would see that happening quite significantly.
On the flip side of that, you might have seen that OpenAI has released some open source models as well, right? So you can run these locally on your machine. Your files don't touch the internet, they're private, and you still have the power of, obviously not as smart as like the latest models, but for most people that might be okay. So on the one hand, and they had to, I think, do that because there's a lot of other competing models that are out there that are open source. So I think that was there. Look here, we're being good as well. So yeah, I guess it's like, let's try different models and see what sticks. Because I guess people's perception, like with everything, it's what you perceive the value to be to you, right? So just like a lot of us have TV, satellite subscriptions, lots of subscriptions we sometimes I'll forget about and we don't even use. It'll just be yet another thing that you're like, yeah, I need this, and then take it from there.